Okay, then good afternoon again for everyone. My name is Ani Wahyu Rahmawati. On behalf of the organizing committee of the ICISETIM 2022, it's our pleasure to welcome all of you in this conference, virtual conference in the Breakout Room 2 with our beloved session chair. Here we go, Dr. Lina Anatan from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, and also Dr. Anami Silencio from ASEAN Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines. Hello, Dr. Lina and Dr. Anami. How are you?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Lina and Dr. Anami.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Everyone.
I hope we can enjoy all the session, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Her Excellency as Session Chair, Dr. Lina Anatan, and also from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and also Dr. Anami R. Silencio from ASEAN Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines. Excellency, distinguished guests, delegates, and all the participants of International Conference or ICISETIM 2022, and also all the participants, thank you for being with us today. Welcome to the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, or ICISETIM, which is hosted by Maranatha Christian University and Research Synergy Foundation, co-organized by De La Salle University, Petra Christian University, Yuan Christian University, also supported by Scholar Vein, Research Synergy Institute, Reviewer Track, Research Synergy Press, F1000 Research, and also Taylor and Francis Group. The conference aim and theme is to explore integrated system engineering, technology, innovation, and management. Okay, regarding the material of the conference, the virtual background, conference program, and also the abstract book can be accessed in the link that we sent previously through email, or everyone can access through the Zoom chat box. Meanwhile, for the proceeding of the paper will be available at www.researchsynergypress later on approximately day plus 10 after the conference finish. And also for the Q&A and certificate, Q&A can only be asked via Zoom chat room or via Zoom chat box, and the session chair will manage as time available. Please write down your question and the name of the presenter that should answer your question. The certificate will be provided to register email after the session. For participants who complete and actively involved in presenting the paper or asking the question or giving the feedback during the session, please fill the registration or attendance form sent via Zoom chat box. Here, the attendance form. I will share again in the Zoom chat box after this, so everyone can fill the attendance form for the certificate preparation. All the participants are required to mute their audio. The host has every right to mute any participant's audio and remove who are deemed disruptive without any warning. Okay, so without further ado, let's start our online presentation session in this breakout room 2. Now we have, we have 7, yeah. We have 7 or 8 presenter right now because one of presenter shift the schedule from yesterday to today, but we have to check whether he available or not. Okay, we have the track enterprise resource planning and also track management science, and we have the beloved session chair today, 2 ladies that will guiding us. Before we start to shift the session to the session chair, our respective session chair, I would like to give the session chair introduction. Okay, here we go. Dr. Lina Anatan from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia. Dr. Lina Anatan is a lecturer and researcher at the Faculty of Business Maranatha Christian University, Bandung. She earned her bachelor degree in economics from the Faculty of Economic Airlangga University, Surabaya in 2001, and her master's and doctorate degree in management from Faculty Economic and Business Gajah Mada University, Yogyakarta in 2005 and 2017. Her research interest is manufacturing strategy, supply chain management, knowledge management, and strategic alliance. The second is Dr. Anami Silencio, Anami R. Silencio from ASEAN Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines. Dr. Anami R. Silencio is an instruction specialist and an expert in the field of education, research, and extension. She is currently a Master Teacher 2, a School Information Coordinator, a Partnership Focal Person, a Critic Teachers, and Broadcaster in the Basic Education, likewise function as Assistant Dean and a Program Head of Doctor of Philosophy in Maritime Education in the Graduate Program of Asian Institute of Maritime Studies. She is also an active coach and mentor of curriculum and module development in basic education, tertiary, and in the graduate program, a research speaker of writing a research paper, a panel member and advisor, and used to chair graduate program defenses. She is also visiting professor in John B. Lexon Foundation Maritime University teaching thesis and dissertation writing Lism of Alabang Tagwig City University, PNTC College Teaching Language and Social Science courses. An invited lecturer in Norwegian Training Center of Module Development. Wow, so many experience yeah from Dr. Okay, Anami from the Philippines. Okay, so welcome Dr. Lina and also Dr. Anami.
Thank you, Miss Annie.
Okay. Now, thank you for your support in this conference, for your time, and also for the leading the discussion of this international conference, especially in the Breakout Room 2 in our session 2 right now. So from now onward, I will pass the session to lead by two of you. Now the time is yours to our session chair. So welcome Dr. Lina and Dr. Anami. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Lina, it's your floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Annie and Dr. Anami. So good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you to our second parallel session on ERP and Management Science track. And there will be, I'm not sure, because last night, me and Dr. Anami have discussed about the session. We guess it is only 6 presenter, but Miss Annie informed there is 8 presenter. I don't know whether which one is right.
The default is 7 as well as the conference program, but I will check because one of participants request that they will shift the schedule from yesterday to today, but I will check and update you.
Okay, could you inform us who is the name and the paper, the title of the paper? So we can announce in the session.
I will update. Then maybe she or he will present if they available. They will present for the last.
Okay.
I will update.
Thank you, Miss Annie.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will lead during the first until the third presentation. So there is Miss Mariana and also Tamara. The next presentation will be led by Dr. Anami. Before we start, let me inform you that each speaker will have 15 minutes, which include 10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer. So I'm going to interrupt you about a minute before the presentation finishes, and I'm going to stop you when the 15 minutes is up. For all attendees who want to ask a question, please kindly write your question in the chat box during the presentation or directly after the presentation. I think that's all the information I need to share. So let's begin the first presentation by Ms. Mariana Simanjuntak with the paper entitled Industrial Agglomeration Analysis and Enterprise Resource Planning for Local Economic Growth, Case Study, Medium Industries at North Sumatra. Miss Mariana, are you here?
I'm here. I am here, Miss. I'm ready to present, Miss.
Okay, okay. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lina Anatan.
You're welcome.
But I cannot start the screen share.
Okay, I will stop the share screen, ya.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Miss Lina and Bu Ana. Maybe the paper is our paper, Bu Ana.
Yes.
That have been that will be presented by me, and I have updated the committee.
Okay, Dr. Fitriani.
Yes.
Will be presented the first paper, Industrial Agglomeration. Okay.
Yes.
Time is yours.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ibu Fitri, and thank you, Ibu Lina. Please.
Okay. Thank you, Bu. I will share my screen. Thank you, the chair and the audience. This paper is by me, Bu Ana, and 3 of our colleagues. The title of our papers is Industrial Agglomeration Analysis for Local Economic Growth with case study, medium large industry at North Sumatra. And it is presented by me, Fitriani, Tupa, Silalahi, as one of the authors. So the research background, in 2021, the economy of North Sumatra is predicted to grow at a rate of 3% to 4.5%. In terms of industrial companies, North Sumatra economic growth was mainly supported by the agriculture and trade industry. And improvements in the performance of the agricultural industry are mainly sourced from palm oil that began to enter the harvest period to improve CPO export performance. And then we found that it means that the role of industrial sector is increasingly important. However, industrial agglomeration has proven to have a significant effect on regional economic growth. For example, in Gresik, East Java, the rate of industrial agglomeration development have good economic indicator performance. Seeing the phenomenon of agglomeration in other regions can show high economic growth. So North Sumatra with supporting resource can become a more developed industrial agglomeration area. So the potential for industrial agglomeration needs to be developed based on the industrial specialization in North Sumatra. So this research will try to identify areas that have the potential to be industrially agglomerated in the North Sumatra region with the hope that we will increase the economic like another area that already have agglomeration. Okay. So why industrial agglomeration? This is some importance of industrial agglomeration. First, it shows economic improvement on city scale and medium large industries, or in Indonesia we call industri besar sedang. Increased scale of yield in the establishment of industrial agglomeration can occur in production activities, economic agglomeration, and geographic ecosystem dynamics. And then industrial agglomeration increase the acceleration of urban labor increase, resulting in the expansion of public infrastructure. And then industrial agglomeration not only creates new economic benefit, but also greatly enhance the effect of handling environmental pollutions. In the literature review, when we try to search about industrial agglomeration definition, we found there is still no consistent definition of industrial agglomeration. Some scholars define it as a large number of companies in the same industry, and others consider it as the aggregation of relevant companies. And following Yuan, the study defines the agglomeration industry are the concentration of industrial production activities in the geographical area. In the context of geographic economy, the concept of agglomeration relates to the spatial concentration of population and economic activities. And industrial agglomeration is affected by natural advantage and spillover. Natural advantage means factories in an industry are geographically concentrated when their choice of location is influenced by common factors that make some location more desirable than others. And spillover, it means the division of labor market, the advantage of inter-firm trade, the influence of local knowledge on the allocation of spin-off firms, and other forces that may provide increased profit for firms located near other firms in the same industry. And from the literature review, we found that most of the literature say that industrial agglomeration have positive impact in Indonesia, in country or in special region like West Java or Gresik. However, industrial agglomeration tend to produce spatial difference in income level between regions. So the methodology in this research, we try to measure the industrial agglomeration by measure the LQ or location quotient index. We use statistical data and economic data, and we measure the LQ index. If the LQ is greater than 1, it means that the industry is the basis of source of growth. And if the LQ is equal to 1, then the industry is classified as non-basic, does not have comparative advantage, and its production is only sufficient to meet the needs of its own region and cannot be exported. And less than 1, it means that the industry cannot meet its own needs, so it needs supply or import from outside. So this is the first step in the research methodology. We we try to classify the region to be industrial agglomeration or not. So this is the mathematical equation for the LQ measurement. The measurement was carried in 34 regions and cities in North Sumatra region in range of 2017 to 2019. And the data that calculated is obtained from BPS data. And this is the formula. And then we found the result of mapping the agglomerated region from industri besar sedang in North Sumatra. This is the region, and this is the location quotient, and this is whether the location is agglomerated or not. If it greater than 1, then the area is agglomerated. In these results, we found that there are some areas that are consistently agglomerated, but there are also those who have not initially been agglomerated, experience an increase in their LQ and until finally agglomerated. From the calculation, we found that in North Sumatra, the Asahan, Deli Serdang, Pematang Siantar, and Medan have consistently industrial agglomerated. In other case, there are Batubara, Padang Lawas, and Labuhan Batu Selatan that in early 2017 are still agglomerated. However, in 2018 to 19, it showed that an increase to the agglomeration. And then Simalungun, Serdang, Bedagai in 2017 was agglomerated, but the following year decreased and did not include industrial agglomerated. Thus, the result of the determination of industrial agglomeration we found that there are 10 regions that are agglomerated and or have been agglomerated in the period of 2017 to 2019. And then we try to calculate whether the industrial agglomeration in one area is affecting the gross regional product, or PDRB. We tried to do the regression test, and the result of the calculation, this is the result with the degree of freedom in 5%. Since the p-value or significance F for the 3 years is less than the alpha, it can be concluded that the location quotient index used to determine the agglomeration of one region has significant effect on gross regional product. And regression results displayed through intercept and X variable so that positive relationship between the location quotient index and gross regional product. This suggests that we must try to improve the location quotient in one area. So the conclusion from our study, for now, the agglomeration area in North Sumatra consists of Medan, Binjai, Deli Serdang, and Karo, and or known as Bidang Road, and it had been from presidential decree in year 2011. The existence of Medan and Deli Serdang is in accordance with the result of the study. So our study is same with this area, that is Medan and Deli Serdang. However, Binjai and Karo have not yet entered into the agglomeration from our calculation. The result show that the appropriate location for agglomeration are Asahan, Deli Serdang, Pematang Siantar, and Medan. Because Medan and Deli Serdang has already agglomeration area, attention should be paid to the Pematang Siantar and Asahan area. So, by establishing Pematang Siantar and Asahan as agglomeration area, it will encourage the government to carry out appropriate policy to support economy in these two areas. So, our study give the recommendation to the government to make these two areas to be agglomeration. So the economic growth in North Sumatra will be improved. I think that's from our presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fitriani, for the presentation, for the nice presentation and very interesting study, I think. Let me see in the chat box. I think we haven't any question, so I will give you one question to confirm about the. Oh, I think this is the title of the paper have been changed. So the title that I have received in the conference program, you mentioned ERP in your title, but in presentation I didn't found any discussion about ERP, whether it is in the introduction, abstract, and also the literature review, and also the discussion. Do you have any comment or explanation about this?
Thank you, Ms. Lina. Actually, the reviewer have suggested us to make a discussion about ERP, or to delete it if it's not relevant in the rest of our paper. So when we submit the revision, we delete the ERP.
Oh, okay. So what have been delivered to the session chair seems like the title before you have any, you get the comment from the reviewer. Okay. Okay, because I feel a little confused about the ERP you discussed in the abstract. So from my opinion, ERP is about the software that help business to integrate and also manage some functional areas such as human resource and also operation, financial, etc. But from your abstract, you didn't discuss about that. So you decide to delete.
Yes, delete
Okay,
the
okay.
ERP from the rest of the paper.
Okay.
All of the paper.
So just focus on industrial agglomeration.
Yes.
Because I see the same as the reviewer did, maybe. So there is no relevant between ERP and your discussion, because you didn't mention any discussion about this, about the ERP issues. Okay, I just need that confirmation from your paper. So another question is, why do you focus your study in medium and large? Is it possible to study to do this research in small and medium enterprises?
Thank you, Miss. Actually, the study can use in small and medium enterprises. However, the data that available in BPS from DPS or Badan Pusat Statistik only in medium large industry.
Okay.
To do the small, we must collect our own data. So we will not use the secondary data because until now we don't found it from DPS data.
But actually you can do the research in small and medium.
Yes,
okay.
But we must collect our own data.
And maybe that will be your novelty or contribution for the research if you do the research for the next research, maybe for small and medium enterprises. Okay. I think that's all for my question, Dr. Fitriani. Any question from the audience before we continue to the second presentation? Okay, I think there is no question from the audience, from the attendee. We will move to the second presentation, second presenter. Thank you, Dr. Fitriani.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the second presenter, Ms. Tamara Regina. The title of the paper is Marketing e-Webinar, Lesson Learned from a Real Experiment.
Okay,
Are
hello.
you here?
Yes.
Ms. Tamara, okay.
Hello.
Can I share your screen?
Oh yeah, I can I share my screen?
Okay.
Okay, the time is yours, Ms. Tamara.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me start. Thank you very much for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Tamara Regina, and I'm a first-year student at Petra University, majoring in International Business Engineering. So today, I would like to present our research regarding the lesson that we have learned from a real experiment in marketing a webinar. So this will be our agenda for this presentation, and I will be guiding us through these sections. So with the current challenges of COVID-19, many universities are pivoting to webinars as an essential part of their marketing strategy to continue to drive academic interest and engagement. And the same goes in our program. So to start off, I would like to give a little bit of background about the webinar that I led. So our program, or IB program, conducts consistent webinars presenting to the public about recent technology and its relevant uses to the world we live in today. And it is absolutely really common and crucial for us as IB students to manage a webinar and become the head of the event to improve our soft skills. In these many webinars, we bring in many professional speakers, and the topics that we discuss in the webinar are mostly the implementation of technology in real life. As you can maybe see from the table, we discuss things like AI in public policy, mapping out a career in the technology field, and data science in industry, and many more that can be a solution to many prevalent issues. I was given the opportunity to lead one webinar, which is about the natural language query from Amazon Web Services, presented by a senior data visualization engineer from Amazon. And in this webinar, we will demo how to look for public data sets, and then we will download an Olympic Games dataset located in Kaggle to run for the next steps. So we had 2 weeks worth of planning, which started on the 30th of November until the date of the event on the 27th of November last year. However, if we can take a closer look at our table, we actually encountered a significant problem here, because if we can see from the figures, we see that the number of registrants is decreasing over time. And if we illustrate this in a graphical sense, the trends from our past webinar have shown that we are getting much and much lower registrants every time we hold a new webinar. Our first webinar happened in the beginning of the semester, and we received around maybe 800 registrants, but it rapidly depreciated to only 300 registrants from our last webinar on the 12th of November. So the problem is that within the span of only a few months, registrants decreased almost 60% down. And as we have 2 weeks time to plan, within that time constraint, we need to do some further efforts. And the problem that we faced at that time has led us to doing a new, fresh approach of using the email campaign. So event marketing and webinar marketing are important parts of marketing strategy for many organizations. Maybe whether if you attend trade shows or host webinars just like I did, those type of activities are a great way to drive new lead generation, lead re-engagement, and improve registrants acquisition number. And we know that email marketing can be one of them. It can be effective and robust tool as means of promotion. And quoted from one of the papers done by Jamalzadeh, Berafan, and Masudi in 2012, they said that email advertising improves a cost-effective, direct, and reciprocal means for businesses, overcoming the limits.
Enggak ngomong apa-apa.
However, email marketing efforts may not reach their full potential if we did not evaluate our strategy. So by the end of the study, we have also created some internal goals and questions for ourselves to achieve and answer. We want to make sure that the last webinar of the semester should attract more participants. We want to practice email digital campaigns. And the last one, we want to build our data warehouse. And the first research question that we have is, can email digital campaigns be used to track an audience from inside and outside the affiliation? And can we predict the potential audiences that will attend our webinar? So in one of the several mathematics classes about differential equations, we learned various mathematical models, including the Best diffusion model, popularized by Frank Best. So when a new product comes to the market, the crucial question to raise is, how many customers will eventually adopt the new product and when? So the model's basic premise is that users can be identified as innovators or imitators. And we think that registering for a webinar event, just like the one we manage, is very similar to buying a new product. Because natural language query is a hot subject, but it might be relatively new to some people. So we expect that there will be 2 groups of people, those who are willing to try a new webinar topic and those who need some convincing to register. When we researched the proper models used, we came across a group of S-curve or sigmoid functions that can also be used. So we choose the von Bertalanffy, logistics, and Gompers because of the following reasons. First, they all have the same number of parameters. Their parameters have a reasonable interpretation of other subjects, and all of them are available in a single R package. And after doing the campaign, we want to forecast the result of the email campaign regarding the number of registrants, and we predict them using some of these mathematical models using the R package. So let's move on to how we actually did it. So to conduct intensive email campaigns, it is very important that we need to collect the data first. During the data gathering process, we applied the concept data is the new oil or the new crude oil, which refers to data as an immensely invaluable asset. And referring to this concept, we tried to build up a data warehouse in which we gathered all of the data from past registrants from the past webinars, in which we obtained from the registration spreadsheet from the Zoom account that we use. And in this spreadsheet, we are able to get distinct data such as emails, names, affiliations, and even country, because our past webinars have been known as an international webinar, and also the date that they registered for our webinar. Then we combine all of those CSV files into a MySQL database and divide it into 2 major categories, emails outside and inside affiliation, in which it is easier to do this way because we can then conduct 2 sets of campaign. The first campaign was done to reach out people outside, and the second campaign proceeded to reach people internally, so inside our own community. And in this figure, I'm showing you the prediction based on the data from the first campaign and the overall number of registrants over time. While the mathematical diffusion models show that our webinar reached a plateau very early, it could be an alarm for the management team to react and make another internal digital campaign to boost our webinar participants. Because if we can take a look at what happened here, if we did not make a second effort and do further actions while there's plenty of remaining time, the models will predict that there's a stagnant period with little to no growth. So that's why we decided to go out after our own internal affiliation for the second campaign. And within approximately 2 weeks of event planning, by the time we arrived at our event date, we had gained around 580 registrants, which overall is a 57.6% positive increase from last webinars, with 87 of them from outside our affiliation and the remaining 493 from inside our affiliation. And this table here shows the complete progress of our campaign from the very first day of the first campaign until the webinar event. So if we can analyze from the total, 5% of participants were gained from the first campaign and 28% of participants are gained through the second campaign. So nearly a third of the participants were gained from the campaign that we have done internally. Similarly, when we run our mathematical model, we have the following results. And the actual number of registrants by the end of the webinar event is precisely 580, which is a clear proof that it is indeed possible to forecast registrants of a webinar event accurately. And if we see here, the following models have predicted similarly from our actual data. So we can assume that the models are well fitted and they give us accurate predictions from what to expect on how many registrants should we have. Again, this is the graph of the 2 weeks campaign, so the overall progress that we had done, which can be illustrated in this graph. And from here, you can see the overall progress starting from the very first day until our webinar event. And putting it together with the predictions of mathematical diffusion models that we have discussed, our actual data is again similar to what the models have predicted. And the vertical line there shows the complete payoff of the decision to run the second campaign, because the second campaign had brought more success and really boosted up the number of our registrants. So to conclude, our research has definitely allowed us to gain deeper insights and better analysis about the effectiveness of our marketing strategies, which can be very beneficial for our upcoming webinars. To a certain extent, we have aided to gain more registrants and we can accomplish some of our goals to acquire a higher number of audience. We also managed to get the attention of our colleagues within the affiliation and predict the market potential accurately with the mathematical diffusion models that we have used. But also there are plenty of valuable lessons that we have also learned from this research. For example, we know that in reality that the return rate of our email digital campaign is still very small. And for example, this can be caused because sending numerous emails are very prone to spam filters or junk, which meant that this could be the key answer as to why only a small proportion of people actually registered. And maybe in the future, it is best to use professional digital marketing tools, such as MailChimp, in which spam can be mitigated. Also, now that we have created our data warehouse, we might want to segment it further down. For example, we know that we have more success within the Faculty of Business and Economics. So in the future, we might as well send a more targeted campaign towards the students who run this major. And another suggestion would be to give an incentive to our audience, or you may refer as referral bonus, because usually people acquired through bonuses have higher retention rate and are more likely to engage with events that have reward programs. And lastly, it is also very important to also build a professional collaboration with more student organizations from other universities within Surabaya and all around Indonesia, and possibly reaching through different countries as well. Okay, so this is all from us. Thank you very much for listening, and any comments or questions will be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tamara, for the nice presentation and interesting topic also. Let me see your abstract first before I try to give you a question. So in the abstract, you said that while the mathematical diffusion model show that our webinar reached a plateau very early. Can you explain why this could be happen in your research?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So the first campaign was done to attract the people outside our community, so people outside our affiliation. And when we did the campaign, we were sending numerous emails, maybe around thousands of emails for the people outside, and we have gained that data from previous past webinar events. And it might be the case that some of the emails were not actually sent because again, when I said before, it might be due to the spam filters or the junk emails are very prone to happening, especially if you send maybe like thousands of emails a day. So that's why we have reached the market potential very early, and that's why we have reached the plateau very early. This is why, because that we reached the plateau very early and we have more time until the date of the webinar event, it is an alarming message to us to conduct the second campaign so that we can boost more registrants.
Okay. Based on your research finding, what will you recommend for other organizations that maybe want to implement email marketing campaign too, so they can be successful in implementing the strategy?
Okay, Doctor, thank you. I would suggest that since this was our very first attempt on email marketing, I would suggest that for everyone who is trying to promote their event, it is probably best to use professional digital marketing tools, maybe like MailChimp or Musen, which are available for free. So if we are conducting a big event in which we are trying to get a lot of audience, maybe it is best to use those professional digital marketing tools, because spam filters, or again, junk spam mails can be mitigated. They will resolve that problem. In my case, I did this through the Gmail server, so sending the thousands of emails were not very effective and very time consuming. So using the professional digital marketing tools that I've mentioned will be very effective, and it will be very practical.
Okay, thank you. Another one question, maybe the last question. Can you please explain what is the contribution of your research to maybe knowledge development and also practical maybe?
Okay, thank you very much. So as we all know, because we are facing this pandemic situation, so webinars are very essential. Everything is done online. So I guess that email marketing can be a primary tool for us to promote the event that we are trying to hold. So then people, not just all around Indonesia, but also people maybe all around the globe internationally, can also realize that there's event that you're promoting. So then they might be interested in joining your webinar. So that's why I think email marketing campaign is still a very useful tool.
Okay, thank you. I think it's very, very interesting research you do. So I suggest to, if you, it is better that you, much better, I mean, if you can include the contribution in your abstract, so the reader can find directly what is the contribution. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tamara.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lina.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will continue to the third presenter, Ms. Mariana Simanjuntak. Are you here?
I am here, Dr. Lina.
Okay, let me see. Ms. Mariana Simanjuntak will present the paper entitled The Role of Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Co-Creation in Enhancing Sustainable Business. Okay?
Yes, yes, Miss.
Time is yours.
Okay, thank you.
You want to share yours on screen?
I will share.
Okay.
Okay. My presentation, thank you for Dr. Lina Anatan and also all presenter. My name Mariana Simanjuntak and the co-author is Imade Sukresna from Universitas Diponegoro. I will present about the role of entrepreneurial ecosystem co-creation in enhancing sustainable business. The presentation will be starting from introduction and thoughts about background, research gap, business phenomenon, and management development and method. In the second, I will present about the profile of the respondent, mapping and keynote sheet indicator, and how to process the data. The third, talking about the result and discussion, and therefore conclusion. Research gap. The finding of gap between green entrepreneurial oriented here in after will be abbreviated GEO positively affect to marketing performance, and there are also those who argue that GEO does not contribute directly to marketing performance. I see from Gu and et al. 2020. Gaps can also be found in the process of continuing the entrepreneurial ecosystem co-creation, valuation with ecosystem governance structure. There is a no or very limited space for entrepreneurial policy intervention capable of ensuring the needs of WEC processes, otherwise capable of improving the sustainable of the balance between improved marketing performance and the improvement of the universe. Business phenomenon. The WE concept reflects the desire of individuals, entrepreneurs, community, and government to emphasize the positive impact of business ecosystem and the improvement of the universe. So that both in the COVID-19 pandemic and post-pandemic, entrepreneurship already has a model governance procedure that was processed and result as business sustainability and the environment of the universe. This could lead to a class of WEC goals enjoining the sustainability of the universe ecosystem. Research purpose. The study focus on investigating and defining the role of entrepreneurial ecosystem co-creation in supporting entrepreneurial sustainability and improving marketing performance, especially tourism MSMEs in the face of economic challenges after the COVID-19 pandemic. This research contributes to the development of the concept of co-creation of sustainable entrepreneurship by showing that the balanced model of green orientation with the creation on an entrepreneurial ecosystem along which economic, social, and environmental benefits need to be adjusted in order to achieve entrepreneurial sustainability and marketing performance. Co-create service dynamic logic. Why is SDL important? Based on the perspective of SDL, Fargo and Lass, SDL basically refers to the dominant way MSMEs think and act. In the management concept, they study the relationship of green-oriented entrepreneurship by the way they create a production and service improvement through the co-creation of the entrepreneurial ecosystem so as to improve marketing performance. The study employs SDL as the basis in tracing the role of WE because in entrepreneurship required co-creation and value added, green radical innovation and green incremental innovation. This model is based on the desire to improve marketing performance. So WC is needed as an entrepreneurial sustainability solution. We can see in this model. Methodology, profile of the respondent. The unit analysis in the research is Toba and Kumbang Hasundutan Regency MSMS North Sumatra. Yeah, respondents are totally 319 sample. This primary data collected through a questionnaire designed to measure the construct used a 10-point interval scale where a score of 1 indicates strongly disagree with a statement submitted and a score of 10 indicates strongly. In the table, so if MSMS profile attend from culinary, entertainment, transportation, and accommodation, and entertainment is bigger from the others, or around 30.90, 69%. Measure item from green entrepreneur orientation. The positive like improve the efficiency of process, encouraging new ideas, innovation, and minimizing waste, aware of green product, interested in green environmental activities, and developing green ecosystem innovation. Measure from entrepreneurial ecosystem co-creation, the first, developing green ecosystem innovation, implement a green ecosystem, help companies get green competitive advance, provide guidance on the ability to implement green ecosystem, and design effective and valuable green ecosystem, control the strategic direction of green ecosystem practices, and determine the strategic direction of green ecosystem practices, and then create green product to characterize current and future product. And the last, avoid those products which consume more energy. And measure item for sustainable entrepreneurial, that sustainable entrepreneur are the needs of the youth. Feel enthusiastic to be a sustainable entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurship is a challenging but interesting task. A balance managing in the entrepreneurial improvement with social responsibility, balance achieving economic value with environmental stewardship, establish a universal set of practices in creating social welfare, and the last, establish a universal set of practices in minimizing environmental degradation. And for the last variable, measure item for marketing performance, we see from research it reduce operating costs, increase for profitability, increase in sales volume, higher market share, higher degree of consumer loyalty, dealer retention and loyalty, and the last, consumer awareness. From the research, this picture shows us how relations between variable and the others. And then result, we see if all the hypotheses show us if all variable, for example, how Geo can support it WC and the others. So hypothesis, the first hypothesis, Geo is proven to be able to increase WC with critical ratio value of 90.313. Hypothesis 2 to show to a profit to be strong able, how WC profit to be strong able to increase SAP, and then hypothesis 3 also, hypothesis 4 is also proven strong capable to management performance. The result indicate that the co-creation of the entrepreneurial ecosystem is integrated with the quantity and quality of entrepreneurship. WC answered that the complexity of the environment and diversified actors with institutional and socio-economic factors affect entrepreneurial performance, that the quantitative and qualitative aspects are entirely a cause of effect of co-creation and complexity entrepreneurial sustainability activities. WC is the result of the integration of entrepreneur, government agency, financial institution, logistic companies on the basis of the inclusion and cooperation of MSMS, Geo, and of SMS actors not only create value for themselves, but also increase the integration of human, material, human resource, and improving entrepreneurial performance. Geo competitively opens access to the new entrants and provides opportunity to develop entrepreneurship or open business for local communities. WC without Geo, innovation will be an obstacle to the development of MSMEs. Discussion. Entrepreneurial ecosystem co-creations novelty answered that the complexity of the improvement and diversified actor with institutional and socio-economic factor affect entrepreneurial performance as effect of co-creation and complexity entrepreneur. A comprehensive set of research and actor which have an important role in enabling the implementation of sustainable entrepreneurship. A systematic series consisting of entrepreneur attributes and relationships that together influence entrepreneurial activity and are characteristic of an ecosystem. Creates shared value in the systematic way consisting of entrepreneur attributes and relationships that influence entrepreneurial activity and are a characteristic of an ecosystem. Service dominant WC display diversity, nurturing symbiosis, competitiveness, and sustainability as important drivers for marketing performance. It's known as green entrepreneurship to achieve balanced economic and ecological development, ensuring effective synergy between microeconomics and regional development is an important link to build an efficient and complete green entrepreneurial ecosystem. The key is to achieve coordinate economic development, has a high capability of market performance, where the level of influence of the political, economic, environmental in running a business is very large. The corporate governance system is characterized by entrepreneurial sustainability and ownership. Conclusion, implication for theory. The study extends the concept of dominant logic co-creation by arguing that the entrepreneurial ecosystem is a valuable resource which helps companies achieve sustainability and competitive advance by promoting the development of green product and service. Implication for practice. The study expands this discussion on strategies for a sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem, which can be started from the micro enterprise by structuring, managing, and creating processes that are able to synergize economic, social, and environmental advance. A strategy of focusing on green management and shared value creation enables MSMEs to set a flexibility strategy in response to competition. Limitation and future research. The study aims to explore the sustainability of entrepreneurship and marketing performance. This problem is complex, such as a set of value, symbol of profits, procedures, and standard for sustainability ecosystem. It can be a free MSMEs or individual. Each is different in defining how companies create value together. It is necessary to continue research of standard called entrepreneurial ecosystem or sustainable green business. Another things, the respondent of this research are MSME entrepreneurs with different various of entrepreneurs experience. Some are quite old, some are still relatively new. Finally, the co-creation of sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem is connected with the creation of value, attitudes, and attention of MSMEs entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs' intention is based on attitude, which is rooted in connective structure and understanding of mutual value co-creation, interaction, coordination, which is mutually benefit in the long term. The results show that there is a relationship between setting and standard setting. The entrepreneurial ecosystem will increase entrepreneurial sustainability and the destination marketing performance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana.
Dr. Anna, already done, please.
Yeah, okay. I forgot to unmute. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Ms. Mariana, for the presentation. Very interesting topic you have done. I want to ask some question because there is no question in the chat box, and I cannot open the full paper given at the chat box. So I want to confirm some issues regarding the hypothesis development, and also how many hypotheses that you test in this study.
For hypothesis, Dr. Anna, Dr.
Okay.
Lina.
Have you done the literature review for the study?
Of course, I have literature review for the every variable, for example, possibility entrepreneur orientation and other. Yes.
Okay. Because when you mentioned the organization of your presentation, I couldn't find that you mentioned the literature review part. So that's why I
oh
want
yeah,
to
in
confirm
the
whether you do.
article already, yeah, every
Okay.
variable
Okay, I cannot.
mentioned. Yes,
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 I
yes,
couldn't open
please.
the article, the full paper.
Yes.
So one more question. Is it cluster sampling means the same as cluster random sampling?
But cluster, yes, this is cluster
the same or different?
sampling, yes, from only Toba and Humbang area regency, I mean.
Oh, okay. So so you focus your study and in those
two
two
regency and MSMS, micro small entrepreneurs and tourism who attending to prepare the need of tourism.
Okay. In your abstract, you also mentioned about green entrepreneurship, etc. What variable is this? Is it the independent
green,
or because I couldn't find in abstract clearly, obviously. Could you please explain what is green entrepreneurship and the role in that model?
Okay. Green entrepreneur orientation is independent variable from this model.
Okay. So independent. The entrepreneurial ecosystem is mediating.
Yes, mediating or novelty.
What do you mean by mediating or novelty?
Novelty. And the first from the research graph, if a green entrepreneurial orientation, some researching tell if supporting marketing performance and the others not supporting marketing performance. So because that from the research gap, I think I put the new variable like as a novelty entrepreneur ecosystem co-creation.
Oh, okay. I think it's enough for this only.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
One more maybe, Miss Mariana.
Yeah,
sorry.
Please. Yeah, please.
About the recommendation for future research, I think you should include in abstract.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So because I couldn't find in your abstract, so you just finished in the result on the result. Yeah. So just stop right there. Okay. I think it's enough.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Dr.
the
Lina,
presentation.
for your comment.
Okay, thank you. I think for the next presentation will be led by Dr. Enemy.
So yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Gina. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's proceed. By the way, I have, of course, some words before I am going to give you the remaining three of the presentations. In my case, I am truly, it has a great opportunity to be with you this afternoon as a session chair of this day 2, breakout room 2, which of course for everyone who is actually coming from the Philippines would give you, of course, this track as to enterprise resource planning and management science. So I would just really encourage those Filipino people here who are actually participating in the event to have their questions posted in our chat box. Of course, it is my great pleasure having you with us here, you people. And of course, the part of, or rather all the participants in Asia's definitely are here. So good afternoon and pleasant every afternoon to all. So under my, of course, under me, the presenters are, or namely, David Carriaga, am I right, with the number 22133. Of course, we have Budhi Prihartono, ISM number 22128, and Chung-Cho Chang, ISM number 22138. So before giving you the floor to our fourth presenter, I would just giving you, of course, you guys to have 10 minutes, all right, to follow the 10 minutes discussion of your presentation, and then another 5 minutes for the question and answer. All right. So just giving you, of course, the idea of what the management science is, no, for the benefit of the Filipino people here, no, as part of our participants. So as would encourage them to place, no, the questions in the chat box. So management science actually involved, but not just the development of the models for specific problems, and have just substantial contributions to the area of the application of the output from the management science, of course, models for decision making, and of course, at the lower level, middle and top management levels. So then again, management science is the application of the scientific method to the study of the operation of large, complex organization or activities. So these disciplines intimately associated with management science and are industrial engineering and operations research. So without further ado, I would just give you, of course, the fourth presenter under me. We have David Carriaga, and of course, the research entitled Application of Linear Model to Determine the Relationship of Team Development Performance Metrics. Ladies and gentlemen, our researcher, David Carriaga.
Thank
The
you.
floor is yours. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Davic Carriaga, a graduate student of De La Salle University in Manila, Philippines. And I'm going to present the study entitled Application of a Linear Model to Determine the Relationship of Team Developmental Performance Metrics in Customer Effort Score, or CAS. My co-author is Ms. Giselle Joy Esmeria. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sure.
Yes, you can.
Okay. The presentation consists of 6 parts as presented in the current slide. Customer satisfaction survey, or CSAT, is sent to customers to determine feedback from the service that has been rendered by technical support team. In this paper, CSAT is linked to technical supports. A technical support takes ownership of a support ticket and attends the customer's reported technical issue by responding to queries, providing solutions or workarounds actionable on the customer side. Issues are typically raised by contacting technical support team either via a phone call or by creating a support ticket via the product's support services portal. And as we all know, CSAT is a common practice in many industries in controlling for service quality. Excuse me. A way to learn what it takes to satisfy customers is not an easy task. And it is important since human interaction often assume a considerable importance, particularly for service products. Similar to customer satisfaction or CSAT process, customer effort score or CES feedbacks are also evaluated with the technical support's interaction. The CES measures the efforts of customers in completing different types of transactions, such as purchase, a service request, or just an interaction with the technical support team. And the CES was introduced to examine links between customer service and loyalty. As a part of performance management, these surveys take part in overall monthly performance, and CES plays a big portion of 40% for the technical support's performance rating every month. For this study, the objective is, or the objective of this study aims to apply a linear model which describes the relationship of CES survey results to all the team developmental performance metrics after a CES survey rubric review and the CES to CSAT. So framework, since the performance and interaction of a technical support is vital to getting positive feedback for CES, a set of core competencies were defined to determine the areas of strengths and weaknesses of a technical support. The framework for the 5 team developmental competencies was formulated. We will go each of the competencies in the next slides one by one. Diagnosis and analysis. So this competency pertains to the identification of an issue based on present symptoms like errors and the review of an ongoing scenario where expected and unexpected behaviors occur. Ask appropriate questions when necessary to effectively and efficiently resolve the issue and connects different customer clues to identify the concern. Technical knowledge, this refers to the mastery and troubleshooting skills required to perform specific tasks. It means that exhibiting a deep knowledge or troubleshooting skills, which is significantly uh, to reduce the time to diagnose, resolve, or mitigate the customer's issue. Communication. This type of competency refers to the ability to understand and acknowledge customers' reported concern and convey one's thoughts by responding with ideas and questions. Communicating clearly and succinctly in language tone appropriate for the customer's level of technical knowledge. Context awareness is knowing the urgency and being resourceful in picking up contextual clues with each response given by the customer, understanding the business impact and urgency for the customer, and advocating on their behalf, giving the customer solutions options that are appropriate for their cost situation. And the last one is support citizenship. This means that you exhibit a good support citizen by following the guidelines and utilizing the tools as well to drive sustainable and efficient support operation. So being process compliant, dealing with the situations where a process workflow has been put into place during a support ticket handling. With the framework formulated, a rubric team analyzes and identifies the team developmental competencies, which potentially influences customer CES feedback and rating. And in each rubric review, it yields to the following feedback. So we have kudos, note, and opportunity. Kudos means a positive feedback wherein the technical support has done an excellent job. Note, when there is a minor commentary and a constructive feedback to the customer, or I mean to the technical support's case handling. And then the last one is opportunity. When there is a major commentary from the customer, it means that the customer's effortless experience has been impacted. So for the model development, the model was developed as follows. For linear modeling was done to determine the relationship and impact of each competency to the CES scores. And to validate the impact of each competency, principal component analysis was used. The CES feedback can be an effortless experience or high effort experience on the customer side. So a rating of 4 to 5 means effortless experience, satisfactory rating to the technical supports case handling, which also means CSAT, like very satisfied and satisfied. And then high effort experience, a rating of 1 to 3. It means unsatisfactory where minor to major feedback uh, to the TSR or technical supports case handling. So it means on the side of customer satisfaction, it means very dissatisfied to neutral. So on this slide, a table is presented, shows the actual data for CES and CSAT feedbacks. For CES rubric review results, a support tickets evaluation is flagged with a competency which follows the feedback type. So kudos, a score of 3 being the highest, note a score of 2, and the opportunity as 1 being the lowest. So the table on this slide shows the actual data and results of rubric review with the corresponding highlighted competency in each support ticket. So for the results, linear model between CES and to the 5 team developmental competencies were computed based on the data obtained from customer feedback survey with the assumptions relative to the results of the evaluation by the rubric team. So the results indicated that the model explained 75.85% of the variance and that the model was significant predictor of CES. Um, it shows that technical knowledge is the most significant factor, and then diagnosis and analysis as the least significant factor. While the model gives you an idea of the relationship between CES and all the team developmental competencies, these are all estimated values based on the computation obtained from the data available. In order to further analyze the data, principal component analysis was utilized in order to better identify the most influential variables in the data. JMP 16.2 software, which was used as the statistical tool used in performing PCA, or principal component analysis. The table on this slide shows principal component number, eigenvalues, variance, and cumulative variance proportion. An eigenvalue of greater than 1 means significance to be among the principal components. Thus, first, second, third, and fourth components are significant components. Cumulative variation proportion is computed from the actual percentage that each principal component is explaining. The acceptable level of cumulative variance is at 80%, where in this case, the first to the fourth component has the cumulative value of 92.84%. Scree plot for the PCA done in this study is shown on this slide. An ideal graph is a curve showing to be steep and then bends at an elbow, and after that flattens out. It is desirable to find a sharp reduction in the size of the eigenvalues like a cliff, with the rest of the smaller eigenvalues constituting rubble. For the conclusion, the linear model formulated was established, showing the relationship of team developmental competencies on customer effort score. The factors which was the greatest impact to CES is technical knowledge, followed by support citizenship, communication, diagnosis, analysis, and the least was context awareness. Using the principal component analysis different approach in analyzing survey data, which could help interpret results further from the linear model which was formulated. The results will greatly help our rubric team to devise ways on how to improve a technical supports case handling, yielding to better CES scores and performance. As a recommendation, expanding the customer survey and the rubric team's methodology in evaluating customer feedbacks will help improve the research and analysis. And also formulating a well-structured survey may be used to get a more meaningful data and analysis. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. David Carriaga. So you are from the Philippines,
Yes.
right? We are close, not to Ames and the Lazao, yeah? Okay, so the only concern I have, yeah, thank you very much for your studies. It is quite interesting actually. But of course, since application of model, no linear model is your concern, the question is that in the case of this level of applying the linear model, does the team increase performance? Does it really impact management performance as to your, say, for example, the industry that you're actually studying?
Yes. Based on the study, we were able to identify that say the top three performance metrics that influences the CES scores, where the customer sent feedback to each support ticket. So technical knowledge, support citizenship, and then communication. And I think one of the vital parts, since it is a customer service oriented um, way of dealing with customer. So communication is one of the vital. And the team or the rubric team managed to do some coaching sessions which highlights technical knowledge and then way of communicating with the customer, and also following our process in order to help the customers resolve the issue that they have reported.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see if there are questions in our chat box. Do you have any question, guys, there? Or actually listening, no, in our presentation? So if doesn't have meaning, it is very understood. No, thank you for your presentation. But another question. So in the case of the variables that you're actually talking about, you have, of course, four, right? You have
Yes.
technical knowledge, communication, context awareness, and support citizenship. So do you have any recommendation from each of the variables or competencies? Because, if you're going to have, of course, included all the variables in the study, it must have, of course, a possible, if it is got the highest and the lowest score as to reject and, accept. So possible you have to have some recommendations for the pressure research. You have any recommendation as to technical knowledge?
Um, with the study, it's more of a broad recommendation,
Yeah.
since part of the recommendation is to formulate a well-structured survey, because the surveys are just can I go back to a specific slide? So say, for example, at this slide, so the data only indicates a specific competency which is evaluated by our rubric team. So each case will only yield to an evaluation of one team developmental competencies. The assumptions made to each evaluation, say for example, at this the first line communication, and it's evaluated as kudos, and then it will be assumed that all other team developmental competencies will be on a kudos rating, because that is why one of the recommendation is also to expand the survey questionnaire, because each questionnaire for the survey, we only have two. So how satisfied is the customer, and then how easy is for the customer to get assistance. So it's just two question. It doesn't really encompass each of the team developmental competency, and that is why our rubric team is there to analyze what specific team developmental competency is need to be work on a specific interaction.
Okay. Thank you. May I ask, what kind of study are you actually presenting? Meaning, is it quantitative or qualitative type?
It's quantitative.
Uh-huh.
Although there is a part wherein you can include qualitative. However, each survey, say for example, an interaction was done with the technical support. There's a question there, an open-ended question where a customer can provide feedback. So each survey, you have the option to populate it. However, not all of the feedbacks contains feedback in that open-ended question. That is why it's hard for us to do a qualitative analysis, since not all of the feedbacks are containing feedbacks under that question.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Another one, since we are actually having the customer satisfaction survey and the customer efforts, I would just suggest, David, that in the next study that you are actually conducting, the same with the model of development, as the team development, as performance, in the management system, would it be possible for you to have, of course, some of the indicators of your variables studied in here? Because remember, we do not have the satisfaction whether we have this so-called competencies. All right. If you mean customer satisfaction survey and customer efforts, include in your survey this four.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Your study is good.
Thank
I
you.
really would like to congratulate you guys. I don't see any. Are there questions? I'm sorry, but it's not. Okay, so sorry. So its time is up. Anyway, congratulations, David.
Thank you.
Okay, now we proceed to the next. Okay, so for the next research presenter, we have Budhi Prihartono. His study is about development of switching intention model of hotel industry in Bandung. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Budhi Prihartono.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to meet you, Dr. Anami, Dr. Lia, for give an opportunity for me to present my paper. My paper has a title, The Development of Hotel Switching Intention in Bandung. And I was on our team. There is me, Budhi Prihartono, and Vika, Monica, and Ilham Prasetyo. Excuse me, I want to present my paper. Okay. The reason for conducting this study on the perspective practical background. I'm sorry. On the practical background, firstly, Bandung is well-known tourist city in Indonesia. And secondly, many tourists spend a significant amount of time in Bandung, especially on the weekend. And in Bandung, Bandung has near to 400 accommodation consisting about 100-star hotel and near to 300 non-star hotel. This accommodation provides a homogeneous offer and prices that create a tight competition in hotel business, which increases customer switching intention. Thirdly, improving factor that affect switching intention become important for hotels with service provider. On the technical background, the reason we conduct this study, switching intention is defined as level of probability or certainty that the customer will switch from the previous service provider according to Bachelor 2005. And then our model based on the study Han et al. 2011, they proposed the basic switching intention model using data collected at upper mid-scale hotel in the United States, and with the same author proposed the further research be conducted in various hotel segments and other geographical areas. We consider that service performance according to Colgate and Lang 2001 significantly affect switching act done by customer. The other researcher found that factor affecting switching costs would be different for different hotel customer segment. And then Wang on Hon 2016 proposed a loyalty program as the new factor that could influence switching intention. So that is why our study has two objective. Firstly, to get an overview of the effect of services performance and loyalty program on the switching intention, which is mediated by customer satisfaction and moderated by the switching barriers variable. Secondly, our study to get an overview of the effect hotel segmentation on the relationship between switching cost and switching intention. Okay, and our model is developed by previous study. We have several constructs such as service performance, customer satisfaction, loyalty program, and switching barrier. The proposed basic model, the initial model, is based on the previous study by Han et al. 2011. We have 8 construct or 8 variable with 8 hypotheses. Our model 8 loyalty program according to Yuan and Hon 2016, and then we add also switching barriers variable such as switching cost, relational investment, lack of attractive alternative. Methodology of our study performed through a series of stages. Firstly, preparation. We conduct observation the hotel in Bandung, and then we develop a model based on the previous study, and also we develop also a questionnaire consisting 30-item questionnaire, and then after that the phase is data collecting, we collect about 215 respondent. After that, data analysis, we use multi-groups, also structural equation modeling, SAM, and data analysis was performed using M+ software. Okay. Finding and discuss about our result of the study. The result of measurement model testing show that model does not pass the discriminant validity test, and the implication that 4 troublesome indicators were removed, leaving the 26 indicator to be analyzed. And the other test also, the model was found to have a bad fit referring to RMCA, CFI, and TLI value, which exceeded the acceptable limit. After some consideration, the switching barrier variable were removed from the model, which subsequently improved the structural model fit. And finally, the final structural model consists of 5 constructs with 5 hypotheses related to the relationship among these constructs. Okay. The other result of our study, we conduct the multi-group SAM result after the model has been revised, so that 2 group customer related to group 1, low-cost hotel, it is 1 and 2 and 3 star hotel, and group 2, high-cost hotel, it is related to 4 star hotel or 5 star hotel, have a different result. Each group passed the fit test with different value. To sum up, the structural model is considered good, and the model estimation result are acceptable for each group. With the 5 hypothesis test in the revised model to explore the relationship among construct in each of group, it can be concluded that in low-cost hotel, group 1, customer only care about core service performance, and customer satisfaction does not really influence switching intention. Unlike their low-cost counterpart, the high-cost hotel group 2 care more about service encounter performance, and loyalty program does affect their switching attention. The result of this slide show visual representation of a hypothesis testing. You can see here that group 1 low-cost hotel hypothesis, there are 4 hypotheses were rejected, and in the group 2 high-cost hotel, there was one hypothesis 4 was rejected. Conclusion and further research. The purpose of this study are to get an overview the effect of service performance and loyalty towards the switching intention, and to make sure the difference between high cost and low cost hotel customer. The measurement model had to be revised from the initial research model because of non-significance of several factors used in the preliminary model. The improved model was then formed by excluding moderating construct of switching barrier, which passed the measure of fit test. Based on the same result, the factor that influence switching intention of hospitality customer in Bandung, we conclude that core service performance, service encounter performance, loyalty program, and customer satisfaction only for high cost hotel, 4 or 5-star hotel customer. Our result confirm the hypothesis proposed in this study and provide consistent finding compared to previous study by Han et al., who also used data from high-cost hotel customer. Therefore, to better attract a new customer and retain exciting customer, high-cost hotel service provider need to focus on these important factors. For further study, the model can be developed by adding other relevant constructs such as price and customer loyalty. These two factors should be more sensitive for hotel customers in Bandung. Research has also suggested to be performed outside Bandung to get wider understanding regarding switching intention. The grouping of respondents can also be done on ownership of hotel membership if possible. Thank you very much for your attention. You're welcome if you have a question.
Okay. So thank you very much, Sir Budhi. I would just like to ask whether there are questions that you can ask from our presenters. Oh, if there is none, meaning to say the study is good. Actually, I really find it beneficial to the hotel industry because of the revised model I saw. So meaning it just, of course, an existing model, but since you conducted the study, it has revised, and that would definitely beneficial to you, to the industry. Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. If there are
Thank
no
you.
questions, thank you, sir. And now we may have to proceed with the third one. All right. So the title of his study is about investigating the strategy of internationalization, architectural design in Taiwan within the conceptual design international competition. And presenting to you our researcher, Chung-Cho Chang. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairs. May I share my PowerPoint now?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chung-Cho Chang, and a PhD candidate from National Taiwan University. My co-author is Susan Tai, Assistant Professor, Chung-Yuan Christian University. Today's outline first is a background, motivation, and introduction, and then literature review and scope of research, and the explanatory ability to Salle model, to OLI model, and RVV model, and then conclusion and further research. Now it's the background. The internationalization of manufacturing industry and service industry have gradually flourished. However, the construction industry, AEC, means architecture, engineering, and contractor.
Hello. Mr. Chung, what is happening? It might be connection, no, matters in this step of presentation. Hello.
I think he is in trouble with the connection.
Yeah. So if that is the case, can we move to the other who is actually supposedly presented yesterday, ma'am?
We can move to the next presenter. This is the last presenter, Doctor?
Yeah, it was
okay.
it was the last. So I am looking for the two presenters that you are actually told us.
No, there are no additional presenters since the presenter is not confirmed yet anymore. So, okay, let me check to. Hello, Dr. Chung. Are you there? Okay, I think the connection, yeah.
Possible the connection. It has a poor connection, that's why.
Okay.
Sorry for the bad connection.
Okay, you can try one more, Dr. Chang.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's now for the outline, background, motivation, and introduction. And the second is literature review, scope of research. The third, the fourth, and the fifth is the experimental ability of three models.
Excuse me, sir, we didn't see any.
You cannot see any?
Yeah. Would you like to, the team will present your presentation, the slides?
Okay, let me check.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, we didn't receive any files.
So
site.
now can you see my PPT?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that. And now it's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Thank you. Now we move to background. And the internationalization of manufacturing industry and service industry have gradually flourished. However, the construction industry, AEC, are not. AEC means architecture, engineering, and contractor. But there are several models for internationalization had been proposed and been well recognized for Uppsala model, RVB model, and OLI model. The model of internationalization of AEC industry are not well developed. So the process of internationalization of architecture industry, especially for architectural design, is earlier than engineering and constructor, for it is easier and less capital contributions. So the motivation of research, or there are new type for FDI, foreign direct investment, including alliance and franchise business. However, for architecture design business, beyond traditional architecture design competition, a new business model is international conceptual design competition now. And we wonder how is the experimentation ability of existing models of internationalization for architecture design business for international conceptual design competition. So the introduction will have the definition of internationalization of architecture design, the application of internationalized for architectural design business, and why owners adopting international conceptual design competition, why architectural design business invest in international conceptual design competition. So the definition for internationalized of architectural design, it's not for FDI, not for foreign direct investment. In the other hand, for architecture design business, FDI is not a necessary index for the degree of internationalization. The ratio of foreign income will be a better index for architectural design business. And the application of internationalization for architectural design business will be administration of local government system, difficult for understanding local culture and content, scarcity of local institutional knowledge, and lack of local material and contract data. And for risk aversion can be done by joint venture with local architects, nevertheless lower risk with lower profit. So when owner adopts conceptual design international competition, because they need innovation for spatial projects, also risk aversion for failure on fulfill of detailed design and inspection result from lack of local resource and knowledge. And detailed design and inspection implement by local architectural design business will reduce the communication cost of owners. And detailed design and inspection improvement by local architecture design business will reduce the cost of this service. So why foreign architectural design business invest in international conceptual design competition for short work periods? because it means less risk from common factor, such as exchange rate fluctuations, policy change, material price volatilities. International conceptual design competition provides a litmus test for specific market. And they found one thing very important, that is a concept can create profit. So literature review will be the three models: Uppsala model, OLI paradigm, and RVB model. And also an exploration of architecture design concepts in international competitions in Taiwan. This is a Uppsala model version in 1977 for state variables and change variables. And this is a new Uppsala model version in 2020. Also gets state variable and change variables, but what's the effect inside has been changed. And this is OLI paradigm. O means ownership advantage, L means location advantage, and I means internationalization advantage. Through this flowchart, the enterprise can decide that go to FDI or not. And the third one is RVB, resource-based view model in 1984. So here's some international competitions in Taiwan. This is a southern branch of National Palace Museum. This is a Taiwan Tower. And this is a new Taipei City Art Museum. And this is a Kaohsiung Port Station urban design. And this is a Kaohsiung Maritime Culture and Popular Music Center. So in research, we try this 4 models because the Uppsala model gets a 1977 version and 2020 version. For market knowledge, in Taiwan earlier period, they think the design and inspection package, work package is fine. So the committee decision will, they need to invest design and inspection competition. So they need to provide design and inspection competition service. But for a foreign service worldwide, they will make expensive and not worthy for the owners. So some architectural design business, they choose a joint venture with local architects. So this can explain why the joint venture will be so welcomed. And for Uppsala model version 2020, the capabilities will be international competition results in more innovation, and the quality of detailed design limited by local regulations and the materials. So the knowledge development process will connect the conceptual design is proficient. And for the owner, the commitment of performance will be excellent conceptual design, and the local architects for detailed design and inspection. And there is no relationship between the local architect and the foreign architects. And then the explanatory ability of OLI paradigm. So for ownership advantage, the architectural design business, they got experience, they got innovations, and got brand value. And for the location advantages, we will call it the grass is always greener on the other side. So the Taiwan government thinks that they welcome the Japanese architects and European architects. They think they are better than the local architects. And now for the international dimension advantage, there's no significant advantage. So for the OLI paradigm, they should choose the contractional arrangements or licensing. So in the AEC industry, they choose international conceptual design competition, not FDI. And then it's the RVB, resource-based view model, for production skills, international contexts, and domestic contexts.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Your time is about to end. Can we move it a little faster?
Okay, so it's the conclusion. For the explanatory ability, the best one is OLI, and then RVB and Absalomon. And international conceptual design competition benefits both owners and architectural design business. So this is further research. I think the third is very important. This RVB model are well adapted in many other fields. Better analyzed factors maybe results in better explanatory ability. And thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. So I do not have anything in here in the chat box. Possible. I would just give, of course, one question, sir, so that you would end your presentation. So to go international, what would be the best strategy that makes the design or the architectural design internationalized?
And now it's a joint venture and conceptual competition.
Okay, so thank you for your study. It's quite interesting. And of course, this would benefit people in Taiwan, especially those who are, of course, engaged in architecture. So thank you very much. That definitely ends our three presenters. So ma'am, what are we going to do with the next?
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Anna, thank you. Dr. Chang, thank you. Okay, Dr. Anna, I think there are one last presenter.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let me share because when I check, okay, this one is the last presenter of our session.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir Laurence,
Yeah.
this is your case study to improve mall patronage and tension in Indonesia.
Yeah,
So
I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Laurence, and I represent my team here. So the topic is increasing mall patronage intention, a case study of college student. So actually, in our location, there is one shopping mall that is the closest one to the our university and student residential. So they enjoy the distance because it is very close. And next one, we have the discussion with the management at that time. So and then we decide to conduct the research. And after that, because of the pandemic, the situation is changed, and the COVID-19 is the game changers that change our behavior. So including the shopping mall that is heavily impacted by the COVID-19. We have a limitation on our mobility, and we are not allowed to gather in groups. So from the perspective of business, we see that the shopping mall needs not only visitors, not only crowd, but also the revenue. So here the mall patronage intention refers to repeat visitor desire to become a loyal customer. So they come and then they do the shopping here. So that is our dependent variable. And next This is our literature review here. So our model based on the previous model in Indian that is from 2014 with modification to fit our Indonesian context. So we have several variable here with only one dependent variable. So from the left side, we see that there are 14 hypotheses here, but actually there are more 14 if we include the A and B. So this is the note from the variable. For example, the MPI is the mole patronage intention, the purchase behavior, TB, and so on. And then our objective is we will see how to increase mole patronage intention using college students as a case study, as they constitute the majority of mall visitors. And this is our research methodology. We first start from the conceptual model, and then we design the questionnaire, and we do the face validity, and then we distribute the questionnaire to the students using the Google form. And then we check the questionnaire whether it is valid or not, and also the reliability test. And then we conduct the data analysis, outer model and inner model, and then we see the hypothesis testing, and then we go to the conclusion. The software that we use here is we use the Smart PLS, that is for structural equation modeling. And the theory of structural equation modeling is based on the HARE 2014 and 2019. And then this is our respondent. We see that from our respondent, we get a response rate about 50%, and then the distribution of gender, for example, male, female, is not quite different because male is 54 and female is 46. And most of the location of our respondents located near our university. That is Karawaci, that is 67%, and the rest is far from Karawaci, that is, for example, Bekasi only 2%, Jakarta is 15%, and the next closest one to Karawaci is Tangerang, that is about 16%. And the average spending here is about 300,000 rupiah, that is the 85% of the respondent. And this one, with the result of the reliability test from the Kornbach Alpha indicate that reliability score of 0.752, and according to HARE, that any value greater than 0.6 considered reliable. And the validity here, we see that the construct is also valid. This is the result from our software, from the software. And also this one, this is the result from outer loading and reliability, that we see that after the cleaning, we remove the numbers that below from 0.7. And also the part below here, this is the R square. The model explains 56.2% of the mole patronage intention. It means that from this number, we know that the rest of the variable that is not included here is about 44.7. And also for purchase behavior construct here, we got the 46.8%. And according to the HARE explanatory power, the R square, the purchase behavior has low explanatory power, the MPI moderate, and the MS is high explanatory power. And then from our more than 14 hypotheses, we get the 8 hypotheses are proven statistically, and therefore so the other is excluded from our hypothesis, that is rejected. And then summary. So here we get from the result after we collect data, we analyze data, that the store price value and store emotional value have positive effect on purchase behavior. The store emotional value non-store efficiency value and non-store sensory appeal value have positive effect on mall satisfaction. From the literary view, we use the, for example, the hedonic consumption theory and so on. And also the aesthetic experience, mall satisfaction and entertainment experience have a positive effect on mall patronage intention. So in conclusion is we have several significant hypotheses, and additional research should be conducted to identify additional variable, because we see that from the R square that is about 50 or 60%. So we need additional variable to incorporate into this model and include additional customer segment. For example, there is a model not only the college student, but also family and also, for example, office workers. And then given that the COVID-19 has altered the competitive landscape, it is necessary to test the model robustness in post-pandemic era. We know that we are going to endemic, and not pandemic, maybe this year. So the result may change because the behavior will, I predict that we will change too. Okay, I think that is my last presentation. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So there is no question in the chat box. So meaning to say, the study is actually beneficial, no, to your industry. And since it is about improving mall patronage, so possible it has, of course, an impact, no, in the year of pandemics. So one question I would just ask: so what possible contribution to the value of knowledge that has given, no, by your study?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any contribution?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. Actually, this is the modification of the model. So our contribution is the, or maybe the novelty is the modification of the model. So based on the previous research in Indian, so we do the modification. So our contribution is actually the modification of the model.
Okay, thank you very much. So is that all, ma'am? Ma'am Ami? Yes. This is the last presenter, I understand.
Yes, this is the last presenter. Thank you so much, Dr. Laurence. Okay, so right now we are in the nearly in the end of the session. Okay, yeah. So I would like to invite again Dr. Lina and also Dr. Anami. I would like to say thank you so much for the guiding of the presentation and also leading the discussion. I hope that every single question or discussion will be beneficial to all the presenter. Again, thank you so much for the support of this international conference. Now, you may to give the certificate session giving to all the presenter. I will share the screen, then you just read aloud the name of the presenter who get the certificate of presentation. Okay.
Dr. Lina, where are you? You have, of course, read. Yeah.
Okay. The first e-certificate will be given to Dr. Fitriani Tapu R. Silalahi from, I'm sorry, I cannot read. It is too small in my window. Maybe next for the second. Okay, the second e-certificate will be presented or will be given to Miss Tamara Regina Darmawan from Petra Christian University. And the third e-certificate will be given to Miss Mariana Simanjuntak from, okay, I cannot read. Okay, congratulations to all the presenter and for successfully presenting all the paper. Okay, maybe continue with the fourth.
Okay.
Dr. Enemy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the certificate of presentation would definitely be given to Davic Carriaga. His title, Application of Linear Model to Determine the Relationship of Team Development Performance. Congratulations, Mr. Davic. Another certificate, another e-certificate of presentation will be given to Budhi Prihartono. His study, the development of switching intention model of hotel industry in Bandung.
Thank you, Dr. Anami, Dr. Leah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the sixth presenter, this e-certificate will be given to Chung-Cho Chang. His research title, Investigating the Strategy of Internationalization, Architectural Design in Taiwan within the Conceptual Design International Competition. Congratulations, Sir Chung-Cho Chang. And the last, Ma'am Ami, Doc Ami, we don't have the title. Doc Ami, okay, so I can't read. So this e-certificate will be given to Mr. Laurence. Congratulations,
Yeah, thank
Laurence,
you
for your presentation. Can't read, it's too small. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the session chair, for the certificate presentation and session giving, and of course for the leading of the discussion and also the comment and suggestion giving to the presenter and the author. And again, congratulations to all the presenter that give the best effort to prepare all the presentation and also discussion and answering all the questions from the session chair and also from another participants. Your effort, your work is highly appreciated. Again, thank you so much and congratulations. Okay, next. We move to some of the session. Okay, this is the group photo session. So I would like to invite all the participants, the presenter, the attendees, and then the author teams and all the session chair to open the camera. Okay. Okay, so we will get the group photo session. I will check the gallery. Okay, good. Here is Pak Budhi, and then also Dr. Fitriani, and also Dr. Chang. Okay, Miss Tamara, Dr. Samuel. Okay, so many people here. Good. Okay, we have two windows here. Okay, I will start to screenshot the first window. I will count 1, 2, 3. Then everyone can put the best smile of this session. Okay, let's start. Okay. Please be prepared. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Move to the next window. Okay. Okay, good. I will count again. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay. Thank you so much for the smile of this afternoon session. Okay. Okay, now we move to the post-conference information. This is one of the most important part that need to be understood by all the presenter, all the authors, all the participants of this international conference. Please pay attention to the timeline and the process that the author must do in order to complete post-conference process and get the international journal recommendation. So beside of the publication of the proceedings, the author could get another opportunity to get journal recommendation when the author send the extended of the full paper or the proceeding paper with at least 80% similarity removed, so you can avoid the self-plagiarism. Okay, so the author must send or upload the full paper after revision, of course, from the conference session, and also the avoiding the self-plagiarism. The day plus 14. Okay, the day plus 14. Author can send full paper to the Scholar Fund account under the menu of upload or send email to info@ICISETIM.com. Okay, this is the description of your account. So everyone can click the download to download everything there. LOA, review result, invoice, consent letter, payment receipt, and etc. Then you can upload the final article by menu upload. So the timeline is the day plus 14 from this the day of international conference. Okay, the conference paper proceeding will be published at least day plus 10. So right now, some of the paper already published, but some of the paper still on the editing process, layouting, and etc. So please be patient and waiting until the day plus 10 after the conference finish. In the conference website or the proceeding website, www.researchsynergypress.com. The proceeding paper is indexed in the Google Scholar, so it will automatically appear in your Google Scholar account after some time, maybe some day or some weeks. And later on will be submitted to DOAG on Word. So please kindly check the conference website and RSF Research Synergy Press website to get the updated access. Okay, in addition, author requests to revise approximately 80%, as well as I mentioned before, of submitted conference paper to avoid self-plagiarism. This is very important because sometimes the Turnitin, the tools of the similarity check, did not recognize your proceedings and your full paper because the time is very limited. Yeah, so please be aware that you revise the proceeding paper at least 80% to avoid self-plagiarism in the future. Okay, so all accepted paper have opportunity to publish in reputable international journal indexed by Scopus or the OAG, Copernicus, or Google Scholar, or Dimension. Of course, this is term and condition applied, selected by the recommendation and the review result by the scientific editorial and reviewer committee based on your full paper quality. Okay, so I hope that this is the conference proceedings website, so everyone can check the proceedings that published in the website. This is already some of the paper already published online. Please check whether your paper will be included in the RSF conference series Engineering and Technology if you are engineering and technology field of study. And also maybe your conference or your paper include in RSF conference proceeding series Business Management and Social Sciences. Okay. Okay, I hope the information of the post-conference is clear. If you have any question regarding the post-conference, kindly please to email at info@icisetim.com. Our committee will be happy to help of you. Okay. Okay, the next is the sharing session. So I would like to invite some of the participants to share the testimony or the feelings after joining this international conference to spread out the spirit, the motivation to scholars around the globe to share the knowledge and the research and also join for future collaboration. So I would like to invite maybe Ms. Tamara. Are you here?
Hello, yes.
Okay, Ms. Tamara, do you mind if you share your testimony here?
Yeah, so through this conference, I can gain so many new insights and also new knowledge. Since I am just a second semester student, so I obviously learned a lot from other professors and other researchers as well. So I want to thank also the organizers or the committee for managing a very successful conference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Tamara, for the testimony. This is our young scholar to continue the spirit of the building knowledge, yeah, in the future. Okay, the next maybe I would like to invite Dr. Davic or Mr. Davic Carriaga. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, would you mind to share the...
I would just like to thank my mentor, for pushing me, and I thank her for her patience and understanding in going through all the process of submitting the paper and everything. And this is the first time experience for me since I just enrolled in grad school just recently, and it's really a rewarding experience. And thank you to all the organizers.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Davic Carriaga from Philippines for the testimony. I hope that everyone can feel the same, yeah, the same spirit, same motivation, that we are the scholar that should be bring back the value to our society and also bring the positive impact to our society. Okay, next. Before we going to back to the main room, so I would like to remind again all the participants to give the feedback to our conference, because this is will make the improvement, yeah, for the future conference. So the link is in your Zoom chat box. So kindly please to fill the feedback to give some improvement to this the new ideas of the improvement, so the conference arranged by the RSF Research Synergy Foundation can be better in the future. Okay. Okay, the link is in the Zoom chat box, so everyone can fill it. Please be free to fill anything, because it will so benefit for us. Okay. Okay, so this is the end of our session. We will have short break until 3:40, yeah, until 3:45. Sorry, 3:45 to go back to the main room for the closing ceremony, and also we will announce the best presenter of this session. So please don't miss this closing ceremony, because maybe your name will be announced as the best presenter, and also we will give the appreciation for our session chair. So I would like to invite Dr. Lina and also Dr. Anna to attend the closing ceremony also. Okay. Okay, to close this session, on behalf of the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering Technology Innovation and Management, ICISETIM, which is hosted by Maranatha Christian University and Research Synergy Foundation, co-organized by De La Salle University, Petra Christian University, and Yuan Christian University, also supported by Scholar Vein, Research Synergy Institute, Reviewer Track, Research Synergy Press, F1000 Research, and also Tyler and Francis Group. Would like to thank you for your kind attention. See you again in the main room at 3:45. You just leave this breakout room and go back to the main room to join the closing ceremony. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lina. Thank you, Dr. Anna. Thank you for all the presenters. See you again on another occasion. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.